How's it going, you beautiful bastards? Welcome back to Let's Talk About Star Wars, and let's just jump into it. With us is down there, my co-pilot's down at the bottom. I guess you're in the back. Are you in the gunner seat, Evan? Yeah. There he is. We got Tiny Head Evan. How's it going, Evan?
I'm great. Ben is our navigational officer for today, I guess. The way you're facing the nav computer. So he's operating on the ship. We got a good system here today. I'm good. I'm feeling great. Apologies in advance. There are always fireworks in my neighborhood anyway, but tomorrow is the 4th of July, so my dogs are probably going to bark even more than normal. So we'll deal with it.
It comes with the territory.
Yeah.
And judging from the way his headphones look, our Lobot is Ben. How's it going, Ben?
Good, happy to be back. Yes.
Yeah, we haven't been on this show together. We were on Shoot the
Breeze. He was the show when you weren't because you're now a part-timer. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, part-timer.
Yes. Part-timer.
Man, you really earned that co in front of the host.
Yes, I did. I've earned my keep. No.
And also, since Ben's on the show, that means that we don't have anybody watching live. So that's...
Yeah. It's true. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Nice.
We inducted our one viewer.
Yeah.
All right. Well, to everybody who isn't watching, we have a awesome episode coming up, or right now. It's actually the first time I didn't have to write a script, so that's awesome. And to celebrate 4th of July, I guess we'll be ranking Sith Lords. How's it going? We got one person. She watches a lot. Okay, so we'll be ranking all the Sith Lords today to celebrate our nation's birthday, I guess. And so to break it all down, we are doing what I would consider Sith Lords. So everybody that was a Dark Jedi, not on here, just because they got the name Darth. No Darth Talon, no Darth Nihil, like there's a lot of just kind of like lower level. So I kind of wanted Sith apprentices, Sith Lords, and Dark Lords of the Sith.
Yep.
If that made sense. Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
So...
And for future reference, a lot of these I did not know before this and still do not know very well at all. So this is going to be very interesting for me.
Well, I happen to know a lot, and I think Ben will be the happy median.
Yes.
And I'm going to put... Never mind. Somebody else did for me. Oh, I have to go and do something really quick. Evan, earn your co-pilot for about 2 seconds.
I'll do my Type 5. All right. What's up, folks? This is Evan. Hey, you guys doing okay tonight? You guys tipping your waitresses? You're all right. Yeah, this is a great crowd, folks. Now, why is it that you guys ever go to the DMV?
And what's the deal with airline food?
No, Jerry Seinfeld never said that shit. Jerry Seinfeld says weird stuff. I don't know.
Stay on target. Stay on target.
Thank you, boss. All right.
Wait. Taco, I'll Venmo you $5 if you can name that pilot. Not the call sign, but the person. Either of you.
Hey, no.
Red 2.
No.
One of the reds. Is it red?
Oh wait, my mind almost slipped. It is Davish Pops Crail. He is Gold 5.
Awesome.
That scared me for a second because I almost thought he was Red Leader. I get them mixed up. Anyway,
do you get so uncomfortable by me dropping Star Wars knowledge that to make up for it, you have to beat me on knowledge you know more? Okay, cool. As long as we know each other. We have a request from the person watching. Evan doesn't get the credit this episode.
Oh, you don't know that. Sith have famously tragic stories, so
they do, and we're gonna get into a lot of them. Starting with, I'm assuming we're just gonna go in the order that's here, so it won't be chronological order. It's kind of just A order, so deal with it, everybody.
Yep.
And we're starting with Ajunta Paul. There he is. Really weird picture, but Ajunta Paul was part of the third great Jedi schism forever ago, and he led a group of dark Jedi who lost the 100-year darkness and led them to a random planet called Korriban, not Exegol, Korriban. Or Morabon. I'm okay with Morabon. I'm just not okay with Exegol.
Okay, you sound like a robot.
And there he met a very... Yeah?
You sound like a robot.
Just the way I'm talking?
Yeah. Comment below if you think Taco sounds like a robot.
Not the audio? You mean just how I'm talking? You mean?
No. It's the audio. It's a combination of all. It's great.
Oh.
You're our
Junta Paul.
Trusty droid companion.
All right. So stay on target. He made it to Korriban. He led the Sith. He organized the entire empire and became the first ever Sith Lord. And that's why he's on here. That is Ajunta Paul. So, that is the audio. Thank you. So, Ajunta Paul, I'm going to make a little argument. Of course, he sounds like he should be S tier because he was the first ever Sith Lord, and he was extremely powerful. He, as a Force ghost, has a conversation with Revan, or one of them, in one of the KOTORs, I can't remember which one, and if you play your cards right, you can make him come to the light side as a ghost. Yeah. So, does that count as abandoning the Sith ways, even though he did it as a ghost?
Yes.
So, not S tier because he abandoned the Sith ways?
I would put him in B tier.
I would put him in A.
I was thinking A too, but I'm now going to maybe fight with Evan because we don't really have a lot of, when it comes to power, we just know he, got the Sith together. We don't know of any crazy people he took down. We don't know of any, earth-shattering powers he has. I might be okay with B. But
let's see. Yeah, I still say B. I still say B personally.
Ben, all right.
I'm fine with me.
Maybe we'll switch it later. These are all.
I'm just gonna steamroll you every time. I'm gonna just disregard everything you're saying. No, I'm just kidding.
All right, let's move on to way later in the timeline. This ghost becomes the Diet Coke of the Sith. Way later in the timeline, the only dark lady on this list, and the Sith Master of Darth Caedus, we have Dark Lady Lumaya. She is awesome. So I'm kind of super biased because I love this lady. She's very cybernetic like Vader, but her weapon is a whip that isn't just the whip, but she has catorsis and other things weaved around it. Mm-hmm. And it's this cat of nine tails of indestructible things, and no one can fight against it. Luke has to fight with two lightsabers to beat her. And she fights Luke a bunch of times. She was one of the many secret apprentices of the Emperor. Very much a badass. And I don't know, what do you guys think of Dark Lady Lumaya?
I like her design a lot. I think it's really neat. Yeah. The weapons seem cool too. Yeah.
I think when it comes to power, she's very much if we're just ranking power, she'd be closer to a B or A of power because it's not like she, we're going to get to Sith later that are astronomically powerful. Mm-hmm. She's couldn't beat most people in a fight, but not mind control thousands of people at once like some other Sith.
You said she's a secret apprentice, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
One of the many. Yep.
I think based on that, I would lean towards B for her.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would probably agree.
Yeah.
B.
She did. Yeah, I'm cool with B. She lived for a long time, and she later did train Caedus, but just because you have an awesome apprentice doesn't make you awesome. All right, well, we're hanging out in the Bs. All right, speaking of B, the father of the rule of two. You love him. You love to hate him. Darth Bane. Darth Bane did not like the way that the Sith were being ran by Lord Khan, so he decided to genocide them all, pick up a 14-year-old girl, call her his apprentice, and start the rule of 2.
Mhm.
He's S, right? Like, is there any way to
I
not
would
do
say
that?
S. He's also one of the few Old Republic Jedi to make an appearance in a canon visual medium.
He's 100% canon.
Or not Jedi, Sith. Sorry, Old Republic Sith. But he's absolutely S tier. Pure Sith.
I convinced myself the other way. I was trying before you came in here when we were in the green room. I was thinking, since he killed a bunch of Sith, does that mean he betrayed the Sith? And then as I was thinking about it, I'm like, no, that's just a Sithy thing to do.
Yeah.
It's to kill the weak Sith. Yeah, I think Bane completely deserves S tier if anybody does.
Yep.
All right. Now, Darth Lady Lamaya's apprentice, not Kylo Ren, but his Legends counterpart. We got Jason Solo, aka Darth Caedus. We discussed him a lot in our Skywalker ranking, so I don't feel like I need to get into it too much. Evan, what are you thinking for Caedus?
I'm viewing this as as an extension of Kylo Ren. That's how I'm viewing this character, because it seems very similar. But also he turns back, right? Like,
as the last second,
yeah,
as he's dying, he laments. Yeah.
I personally would put him in A. Ben, what do you think?
Well, I'm going to. I really don't know him all that much, only from the little I gathered.
Mhm.
But if he turns back, I would also say A.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, he took over the galaxy for the most part, like a lot of it. He did a lot of really powerful city stuff. And no, I'm going with A. Go ahead, Soda. But yeah, I think what's stopping him from S again is the immense power, because he's still very powerful. No, actually, no, he did have immense power. He became one with the Force at one point, which is insane. He glue with Force power. That's insane.
Glue? Okay.
Glue.
Is the past tense of glue? Or
Glowed?
is it glowed?
I thought it was glowed with an N.
GLEW.
No,
Hanged, hung.
Okay.
Okay.
No glow. What the past tense of glow is?
Glue? I don't know. I say words that aren't words all the time, man. All
Real
right.
quick, Ben, how do you feel about Kylo Ren as a character? Do you like him?
Oh my god.
No, I'm just curious if to use that to inform your decision here.
No, I like him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like him. I like how he was redeemed. I wish instead of Han, I wish it was Anakin redeeming him.
Oh yeah, that's fair. That's
but
fair.
I like him.
Cool.
And also the reasons why I'm not a huge fan of him, Caedus doesn't do, because I wish that Kylo, there he is. I wish that Kylo would eventually have gone full and taken over, and like what one of the scripts was going to have him do is be Supreme Leader Kylo. And I wanted that, and that's very much what Caedus did. Yeah, so that's why I'm still with him being on A, is what I'm saying, is Caedus did take over. All right. Well, let's get back to this. So maybe a controversial one for the really hardcore nerds out there. We have Darth Krayt, chronologically the last Sith on here. He was the one Sith Emperor, 100 and almost 200 years after the Battle of Yavin. He was around during the Clone Wars, and he was a Jedi during the Clone Wars, named Asherad Het. And he then goes back to live with Tusken Raiders. He grew up by Tusken Raiders. He runs into a younger Obi-Wan Kenobi. Obi-Wan cuts his arm off because Obi-Wan does stuff like that. He goes and becomes a bounty hunter, later arrives on Korriban, hangs out with Yuzan Vong for a while. Anyways, he runs a tiny little Sith cult for about 100 years until it's big enough to take over the galaxy. Here's the thing with him, though. He did change the way the Sith were taught. He was one Sith, so all of them are him. Everyone's an extension of Krayt, so it's not like Rule of Two. And even though he was able to take over the galaxy and he was extremely powerful, there are scenes in the comic book he's in where, like, Darth Revan, not Darth Revan, but other big Sith of the past talked down to him, like, you messed up. Like, Darth Bane hated him, Nihil hated him, because he, like, bastardized the Sith in his own image instead of following the tradition. So, do we think that really nails him down for not following the Sith tradition?
Yeah. I'd personally say B, but that's just me. Ben, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, maybe C.
All right. I will be okay with B, but I think the power alone and his story alone keep him out of C.
Okay.
Like, he still ran the galaxy. Like, he's still a very powerful guy. And I was gonna pitch A, but I'll settle for B.
Yeah, I'll settle for B too then.
All right.
B.
Okay. Evan, you weren't here when we were talking about this guy, but Darth Malak.
Yeah.
It's going to be hard to place this guy because, as we discussed last week, 2 weeks ago? What week was it? Was it last week?
I think it was.
I don't remember anymore. Yeah, it was last week. Thank you, boss.
I was going to say, because I don't remember that.
He took over. He ended up trying to take out Revan to become. He tried to take out his master to become the master of the Sith and run their little government when they're trying to, the Sith over the Jedi Civil War. 3,000 4,000 BBY. Yeah, there, I nailed it. So Darth Malak, super powerful, but gets killed by his master after he redeems himself in canon, at least. I mean, he never fell from the Sith ways. Like, he turned Sith, stayed Sith. He was a big Sith alchemist, Sith sorcerer. I think the only thing that's stopping him is he didn't get all the way up there, and maybe his story's a little cliche. So, okay. I don't know. How do we feel about Malak?
Given that, I would say A, personally. My instinct was to do S, just because of the iconography and stuff, but maybe A for cliche story reasons. Yeah, that's me. But Ben, Mark.
Oh, you know what? I'll say S because he's that powerful.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's fair.
I'll go with S.
Well, Taco, you're the tiebreaker here. A or S, or something else. Oh no, did we lose him? Oh, I think we lost him.
Oh no.
Well, hey guys, hey, how you doing tonight? What's going on with the DMV? What do you? Excuse me, sir, up front. What do you do for a living? Oh wow, unusual job. That's my time, guys. Thanks. What happened to Mark? Where's he? What's going on? All right, let's put Darth Malak in A tier.
Yeah, fine.
Terribly sorry about that, guys. My headphones just randomly shut off, and I don't know why. And then I was thinking it had something to do with my internet connection, so I shut off my Wi-Fi. Sometimes that messes with my Ethernet cable. My Ethernet cable wasn't even plugged in, so I shut off my Wi-Fi.
Wow.
Saw my internet, and I was like, "Click." Oh,
yeah.
That explains so much. Oh my god.
Hi, Soda. Thank you for being here.
Yeah.
Did I miss anything?
No, we were about to put Malak in A. Or wait, no, not A. Sorry. You were the tiebreaker. That was what was happening. Because Ben said S, I said A. What do you say?
I think his overall story of just being the other Jedi who fell and his he takes over as master, but his master, he's just very cliche. He's a very cliche character. So his story compared to a lot of these other guys just isn't that interesting enough to be S to me. And he's extremely powerful, but as we decided last week, Obi-Wan Kenobi can kill him, and Obi-Wan Kenobi can't kill a lot of people on this list.
That's fair.
So-
That's fair.
So I'd actually go. I mean, the only thing that's keeping him at A is his devotion to the Sith ways, right?
Yeah, I would say so.
I mean,
That
if you guys
and
want, A, I'm cool with A.
Let's say A.
Also,
Yeah.
he's awesome. So that's
Mhm.
that's a whole other thing. Did we want to rank people within the tier like what people do? Like if we thought Ajuntapal's better than Lumaya, he's closer to B and like that, or do we care?
I think
about
I'd say just tiers, like just
Okay.
the normal tiers.
Yeah.
Sounds good. And I'm
Um,
glad my audio, at least our one person watching says my audio is better now.
Yeah.
All right. Well, moving on to, I believe, sorry, I had to do all this all over again. One of my favorite Sith of all time, Darth frickin' Malgus. He is like the better version of Malik in a lot of ways. So if everyone has seen my favorite cutscene, the return for SWTOR for Star Wars Old Republic, you can just see how much of a badass this guy is. Also, when he fights Satil Shan on Alderaan, he is like, he can beat people more skilled than him because he is like the drunken brawler of the Sith.
Yeah.
Like, he's like he knows how to end a fight quickly. He might
Sure.
not be like, and it very powerful. Just like in his book, The Deceived, he's described as becoming one with the dark side at one point, where the dark side is moving through him as a conduit.
Mhm.
If that doesn't speak to your devotion,
Yeah.
he's number one on devotion here.
Sure.
And I love this. This is a fun little tidbit. He tries to overthrow the Sith Empire to take over it,
Mhm.
and then he gets killed. And even though he did that once, the Emperor of the Sith was still like, I mean, he's still awesome. Like, keep him involved. like he was still so valued that after he tried to overthrow, he was able to keep a seat in the government. Like, so
where
I'm
would you-
either.
Where would you put him?
My heart says S, but again, he was never the leader of the Sith
Right.
at any point, which I think keeps him from S. So
I would disagree. I would
Okay.
I would put him in S personally, because I don't think you need to be. I don't think you necessarily have to be like the prime Sith to reach S tier necessarily. But that's me. Ben, what do you think? What are your thoughts?
I'm stuck between A and S, but okay, S.
S.
okay, well, yeah, let's go with S. And
Do it.
to argue with your point, and in terms that our producer Soto would understand, it's kind of unfair that he didn't become emperor, because it's when Vitiate was emperor of the Sith for like 2,000 years.
Mhm.
So in wrestling terms, it was like when Hulk Hogan was heavyweight champ for like 10 years. It's like, it's unfair to say that Macho Man isn't awesome just because Hogan was always the champ back then.
Right.
Yeah. Did that
Macho
make?
Man.
I'm glad I
Is
made
that-
our producer happy. He's fist pumping.
No, so
yeah,
who would
yeah.
you say is the Macho Man Randy Savage of the Sith?
Probably Malgus.
August?
Yeah, well, that guy. But
Yeah.
also, I would say Malgus. Like, he's so awesome, and he's the only non-Dark Lord. So there are people who are contemporaries of him
Mhm.
that I just don't care about that didn't make this list. Like,
Sure.
he was the Wrath of the Sith, but like the leader of the like all the different tiers of the Sith Council.
Yeah.
I didn't want on here. I didn't put Darth Baron on here. I didn't put Thanadin on here, even though they're contemporaries of Malgus. Who cares? Like, Malgus is Malgus. Like, he transcends his station.
Sure.
But
Real quick, do you mind if with the Sith that I know, like the ones that are in the movies, do you mind if I take point in the descriptions of these?
all yours.
Okay, cool. Darth
Here he is.
Maul. Because I love this character so much. I think
Me too.
if you watch the Clone Wars, if you watched, I mean, even the Phantom Menace, like, you know, if you watch any of the external media, you know how fucking awesome this dude's story is. It's so tragic too. Like, this man, so he was a Sith for about half the time we saw him, and then he went rogue. Because he was betrayed by Palpatine. Like, he was a castaway, essentially. And so, he was a child of Dathomir. He was chosen by the Night Sisters, basically. Like, Palpatine basically stole him from his people, and the Night Sisters were like, "Here, take him." And so Palpatine raised this kid. He took him to it's not Moraband, but what's the planet that the Sith temple is on in Rebels? I'm trying to remember what that was.
I forget.
I'm not pulling it at all.
Yeah. I don't know why I can't think of that. It might be. I don't think it is, but I'm totally blanking. I don't know why. But he takes him there to show the horrors of the Jedi Sith extinction. And he really makes this dude hate the Jedi. All this dude wants by the time of the Phantom Menace is to kill a Jedi.
Malachar, yep.
Oh, okay. I would not have gotten that. Oh wait, no, Malachor.
Yeah, Malachor.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
We got there. Okay.
Sorry, misspelled it. It was quick.
That's okay. He's exposed to the horrors of the Jedi. So he's built with this deep hatred of them. He becomes basically the second Sith for a long time. And then when he gets cut in half by Obi-Wan Kenobi, almost dies, and he starts trying to gain power on his own accord. He takes over Mandalore. He ends up again becoming a castaway and just an old hermit until he finds out that Obi-Wan is alive, tracks Obi-Wan down, and Obi-Wan cuts his ass down again. And that's the story of Maul. Maul is, as Freddie Prinze Jr., who plays Kanan Jarrus, describes, he is Sisyphus. He is always pushing the stone up the hill just to have it roll back down in his face. And for the story alone, I would put Maul in S tier. I know he's not a pure Sith all the time, but he earned this. He earns an S tier for me.
Okay, I knew you were going to say that,
Yeah.
and I have my counter argument, and I'm going to take out my personal love for Maul. I call him my main man Maul every time we bring him up on this show on purpose. He is one of my favorite characters. He was not trained as a traditional Sith apprentice. He was a placeholder. That was all he was, and he was trained as an assassin. Plagueis and Sidious trained him as a Sith assassin, not as a Sith Lord. He was still considered a Sith Lord. Like, on paper, he's a Sith Lord. And when it comes to, like, Dark Jedi, he's S tier for me. Like, when it comes to a user of the dark side of the Force, he's up there. But you never see him shooting lightning. You never see him manipulating midichlorians. He just, or Sith sorcery, Sith alchemy, so many staples of Sith powers, he doesn't rock.
I will say the dark side is what keeps him alive for like 10 years, too.
Yes. Okay, you're right. Pure hatred does keep him alive when he gets cut in freaking half. So that I do have to agree. If I can talk you down to anything besides S tier,
that's fair.
I'm happy. I'd push him to B, but I think I'm being harsh.
Yeah.
But because he's just not a traditional Sith Lord. His story is definitely S.
Yeah.
His power is closer to B, and he's just not a Sith Lord.
All right, Ben, what do you say?
I say S. No,
S?
No. I say A.
Okay.
Only because towards the end of his life, he becomes more obsessed with getting Obi-Wan than he is the regular Sith.
Sure. Yeah. That's true. Because he even says in Rebels,
he's no Sith.
He says formerly Darth, now just Maul.
Yep. Which I love.
He kind of denounces the Sith for most of his life. So
D then.
His story is too powerful, so I would still call him A.
His story is part of the pie, and it's an amazing story.
He is probably the best. Probably story-wise, the best. Like the person who dies a dark side user. He's the best one, in my opinion.
Definitely in canon. I do agree, and also what you.
Oh wait, are you implying there's something else besides canon? No.
Yeah, it's called other canon. So even in Legends, he has an amazing story, and that's why I don't need to argue with you, because the points we're trying to make do still go. They're different. He's not Dathomirian in Legends. He's he has a completely different backstory, but he is equally as tragic. He was pretty much raised to be a puppet and then discarded for, like, he was going to be discarded for Anakin regardless, and then he just happened to get cut in half earlier, and then he had to bring in Sidious had to bring in some old man first. So thank you, boss. So yeah, his story is still he is in his own right very powerful, just not in the ways of the Sith, and that's the only reason why I don't see him as S tier.
That's fair.
Can I say one thing about Maul?
Yeah.
I wish he was the main villain of the prequels.
That's fair.
Until episode 3. He was so underused in the Phantom Menace.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He could have been so much. He could have been so cool in Attack of the Clones, and they didn't kill him off in that.
Yeah.
It would have been neat to see. I'm also partial to Count Dooku, so I can't say too much. But I agree with where you're coming from too.
Yeah, we're gonna get to I think I'm gonna surprise a lot of people when we get to Dooku.
Yeah.
All right. So Darth Nihilus. I love me my Darth Nihilus. So Nihilus was a scar in the Force, or a what do they call it? A wound. There you go. A wound of the Force, and he's one of a couple wounds of the Force, and we have another one coming up too. So part of Malik and Revan's Jedi who go fight the Mandalorians, he joins their civil war. He's called the Lord of Hunger because his ability to absorb other people's force until they die consumed his entire soul, and all he wanted to do was just eat and eat and eat and eat, and literally suck the entire life force from an entire planet, and it killed an entire planet with his freaking hunger. And so he is outside the bounds of a normal force user. He is like very much a enigma, and he literally eats his own body. Towards the end of it, he is just a mask and robes because he is just hunger. That's all he is. Not a lot of personality, so maybe that might knock him down, but easily S tier power, like easily. In the ways of the Sith, I mean, he was part of the Sith triumvirate, not really a traditional Sith by any means, and he wasn't trying to rule anything. He was just trying to eat. He was just trying to suck the force off of other force users. So I'm saying S, but it's up to you guys. Maybe the story knocks it down because he's not really an interesting story. He's just a perfect villain.
I agree with S actually in this case. I think the nature of his character puts him in a league of his own. Personally, I think he deserves S. But Ben, what do you think?
Honestly, S. He seems cool. I really don't know that much about him, but
sure.
Yeah, judging by what you guys are saying, cute villains are sometimes awesome characters. So put him in that.
There you go. We got another S tier.
Unanimous S.
We got a couple in here. I know we'll have a couple more S's. And I just want to give a shout out, and I wish I knew it. I have two names in my head, and I don't want to say the wrong one, but if you just Google this, there's an amazing versus video with Nihilus. And it actually came out while I was in the hospital last year when my baby was being born. There was two versus videos that came out, and I watched them in the hospital room as we're waiting, the like 5 days we had to wait until we could leave the hospital. And somebody made a Nihilus versus Vader, and it is an awesome video. Nice. So if anyone is interested in checking out some versus videos, that's a really good one. Okay. This man needs no introduction. He is the only Moon on this list, and he possibly manipulated the midichlorians inside of a slave lady to make Anakin, allegedly.
Right. Chairman Sandhill from the banking clan.
From the banking clan. We have Darth Plagueis.
Yeah.
Now, when it comes to Plagueis, the only thing that he doesn't have going for him is he's not like an S tier lightsaber guy, but he used lightsabers enough, but he hated it. He said, I have to train in them, so I'm using it. but I'd rather just destroy you with my giant brain.
Yeah.
And he was more of like, and his master, who will come up later, he's more of a Sith scientist more than anything, which makes him really cool.
Yeah.
It's all about midichlorians. Which I hate, but when Plagueis is the only time I like the midichlorians.
The midichlorians
like
are cool.
They're not, but it's like the only time when I love the midichlorians and the concept is.
I have news for you guys. I don't like midichlorians either.
I love them. I think it's cool that somebody can use the Force to create a living being.
Yeah,
and that's not possible without the midichlorians.
That's Plagueis.
Put some respect on it.
Also, I like that he had to be killed in his sleep.
Yeah.
What a dick move.
I feel like a Sith would be able to sense that too, but maybe not. Maybe Sith have really intense dreams.
It could have been his arrogance.
That's true. That's the downfall of most of these.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He probably thought Sidious was going to do what every Sith of the Rule of Two did, is challenge him in a lightsaber duel, because literally every other Rule of Two Sith did that.
Yeah.
But Sidious is like, dude, I got like 3 apprentices I need to do in the next 5 years. Just kill them in his sleep, man.
Right.
And he brings it up during operas. He's an asshole.
I would say Plagueis is S.
I can't argue. Again, the fact that lesser people could take him down, like higher Jedi Council members, like Obi-Wan Kenobi, definitely Mace Windu, like normal Jedi, like normal high-powered Jedi, could take down Plagueis, but that's just not why he was powerful. He was powerful because of what he was, his Sith scientist and his midichlorian manipulation, and he could make life and end life. So it just gives a bad taste in my mouth knowing that he's just not a saber guy. But.
Yeah, I think that actually adds more credit to him, in my opinion.
Okay.
Because I think what's so intimidating, I didn't realize this until I started rewatching like Return of the Jedi again, and we'll get to Palpatine eventually. I think what's so scary about him is that he doesn't need to use a lightsaber. The first time you see him in person, he just like, or one of the first time when Luke confronts him, basically, he just he barely waves his hand and Luke's shackles just fall off, and like that kind of shit, like that kind of intimidation. Just the fact that you don't need to use a lightsaber, you're just so above that. I think that makes him so much cooler.
Wait, Plagueis fights Luke?
No. I'm talking about
Sidious.
Palpatine.
Okay.
Yeah. Palpatine. No, the intimidation factor of just having to use the Force. Like I think what makes Palpatine so scary is the fact that he didn't have to use a lightsaber until. I mean, he uses one, and like the only one he uses one is in Red to the Sith. But my point is that factor I think makes somebody more credible as a Sith.
I'm cool with Plagueis going high, and also in one of his books, I believe it was The Tenebrous Way, but one of the books that was about Sidious's like training, somebody fights like a bunch of assassins attack him, and no one's around, so he's able to cut loose, and he literally TKs them apart. He just blasts them into pieces.
Right.
Like that's insane. Yeah. Just like, you know what? I'm just gonna. Okay, yeah. And you?
Did you see Chronicle? Did you see that movie Chronicle?
Yeah.
When that came out? You remember? I think it's Andrew. The kid is that Dane DeHaan.
Dane DeHaan. Yeah.
He picks up the spider and he just does that, and all the legs just come off at once. It's like that.
But they kill other insects. They're good. Yeah. All right. I'm cool with Plagueis going to S. Right. I don't want to keep filling up the S tier, but. You know, some people deserve it.
How do we put him any less than that?
That's true.
Yeah, it's freaking Plagueis the Wise. All right, here's a controversial one. Darth Revan.
Yeah.
Darth Revan, as a Sith, was an absolute badass. He ripped off Malik's skull, or his jaw, not a skull. He ripped his skull out. No, he ripped off his jaw. He led the Jedi to fight the Mandalorians, met, Darth Vitiate, turned to the dark side, started the Jedi Civil War, and then he joined the Jedi again. So that's where
I've always called this dude, he's the pancake of the Force. I've always thought of him that way. He's constantly flipping.
I like his when he's rocking one purple, one red. It's such a cool look. It's such a cool look, but
I'm gonna put Revan, and this is gonna be controversial. I would put him in B or C tier. And the reasons why I think he is the absolute epitome of like they were really trying to make a fan favorite character.
Yes,
Like,
you're
he is
right.
a Sith, a Jedi, and he fucking like was a Mandalorian. He was the Mandalore, right? Am I mistaken?
He killed the Mandalore to take his. He wasn't a Mandalorian, but he killed Mandalore the Great.
Like the only thing that like, and now everyone's like, oh, let's do a Revan trilogy. Like he annoys. I don't know.
Also, they kept him alive for
Revan
2,000 years just so they could keep using him. Like he's alive forever. Like
just, I don't know. Like I think his story is interesting, but the Revan worship annoys me, so that knocks him down. Plus, he turned a lot.
I'm cool with B.
Yeah.
And also, I mean, you're really gonna give the dude who like kills the Sith, like the high Sith Lord of Darth Vitiate, like you really gonna give that guy an S tier? Like, no, he destroyed the Dark. Like he turned against them. Like it's hard to. And he didn't do it. He didn't do it in a Bane way. He did it as a Jedi. He didn't like take him down to rebuild the Sith in his image. No, he went good. He went very good. He's considered one of the most good characters. Like
the goodest
it's just
boy.
I'm cool with B, and depending on what Ben says,
what do you think?
I might be okay with C.
Well, yeah, I mean, if he went for Jedi and is known for being a good guy,
Yeah.
C, maybe even D.
I don't know about D.
Shit.
I don't know about D.
I would see my personal vendetta against him would put him in D, but
I'm fighting to keep him in C.
let's go C. Let's go.
All right. We lost the two people watching us because we put Revan in C. So
that's the thing. It's just
no, it's not. All right. Maybe Evan thinks of him as that way as a character. I don't think of him as a C as a character, but as a Sith, I do.
I just think I think he's one of those characters that like if they said all right, we're making a Revan movie or a Revan trilogy, I would like ball my fists in anger. Like I'm really against. This is going to come off as controversial too. I'm really against giving the fans what they want. I don't think that's what makes good storytelling. I think telling a good story is the utmost. Like it's the absolute most important thing.
I'm gonna bite my tongue and ask you to move on.
It's just
stay on target. Stay on target.
It's basically it's not about pleasing fans. It's about telling a story that's necessary.
Okay.
And I say that as somebody who fucking tattooed the Jedi Order symbol on my arm. So.
Oh, cool. So the one person listening did agree that Revan's in C.
Yes.
So cool. We're not losing our
controversial.
Okay.
I'm with Evan on the fan service thing. I'm fine with it, but I would rather have it.
No, I agree. I just can't believe a fan of the sequel trilogy is saying that. Can we move on, please?
I think if there's one thing we prove is that those movies were not made for the fans.
Me and you do agree.
Except for 9.
No.
9 wasn't.
Yeah, that's it. 9 ruined it for me
really
because that was made for the fans. But me and you do agree on 9. So we so need to move on.
Okay.
No, say what you want, Ben.
No. We need to move on. We could be talking about this whole day.
Listen here, you pieces of garbage.
We're gonna get.
Thank you, boss. All right, you know him. You love to hate him. He's got the worst first name ever. Sheev Palpatine.
Oh wait, let me take point on Palpatine real quick.
Okay,
he's
all yours, man.
One of the few I actually know. Humble senator from Naboo, masterfully
humble
senator. He's
humble.
The purpose or the external appearance of humility.
Like murdered his parents. What are you talking shit?
He's just like a local senator. Like he's just a local governor guy, and like masterfully manipulates the Senate and the Queen to gain power, to seize control of the Republic. He orchestrates an entire rebellion against the Jedi. He flips the public perception of the organization that was in charge all to his favor, and they cheer him on when he does it. They cheer him on when he creates the Empire. As Padme,
this is how liberty dies. With thunderous applause.
Awesome.
Oh my God, it's one of my favorite lines of all time.
And again, his downfall was his arrogance. I think that, to me, him dying the way he did, and yes, to me, he did die in episode 6, but that's just me.
In Legends and canon, he did die then, but he has multiple clones.
I also like the idea that he is powerful enough to survive. I think that's kind of cool. Like he, of course, this man would not. It makes sense that he would have contingency plans to take over the galaxy afterwards. But it doesn't, to me, it doesn't weaken his story that he would be killed so easily by Vader. Like, you know, it's arrogance, pure arrogance.
He didn't even have a lightsaber on him. He's fighting the two most powerful Skywalkers ever. Well, the two only ones at the time. And he's just lightning them and fucking touching himself on them. He's doing nothing.
It's worth noting that he takes Vader with him. Like, he kills Vader successfully. So, yeah, Palpatine for me gets S tier. But
I think there is no argument against S tier, period. Like, he is the Sith. And besides, like, he's tied with Vitiate on here as power. Like, I think of Vitiate as the Palpatine of Old Republic, and we'll get to that later. But here's a cool thing. Now, we like to look at a lot of these Sith as Sith, but remember, this is probably the best villain on this list.
Yep.
Like, he is such a good... And also, how terrifying is that picture? Like, this dude, he's hunting. Oh. He's a... Look at him.
I will say what I will about Rise of Skywalker, but the scene at the end when he sucks the life force out of Rey and Ben, and the line that he says, "Look what you have made." Oh my God!
Well, hands down, that and the inclusion of all the Force Ghosts talking to Rey is my favorite part of that entire movie. Agreed.
I don't want Palpatine to be in 9, but his stuff in that movie is fucking awesome. It's really cool.
Which also, sorry, and then we'll let Ben talk, but I do think a lot of that goes to the acting because it's Ian McDermott, right?
Yeah.
He's insanely good. Yeah. He's just so
masterclass performance.
Yeah.
Awesome.
You cast a stage actor as your villains.
Yes.
Thank you later.
Especially in like an operatic like series like this one. It's perfect.
You sent me a text message saying that you're getting him in D tier no matter what, so please state your argument.
I didn't say that.
I know, I was kidding.
No, you said F tier for me.
Okay. Going on 1 through 6.
Yeah.
He's an awesome character.
Yeah.
9, every time he was on the screen in 9, I liked. But they didn't give can I curse you? Am I allowed to curse?
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I curse all the time.
I swear, man.
They didn't give him a fucking reason to be there in 9.
That's true.
Maybe if they gave a hint and we'll pull out planning through 7, 8, 9, maybe that could have helped. I don't know. But every time we saw him in 9, he was good. They made no good and real explanation why he was there in the movie.
They just pawn it off to dark science and cloning or whatever. Yeah.
Dumb.
I'm sorry you can't do that in the finale of a non-movie saga.
But let's not let even in Legends they do stupid things with him post movies.
He survives in both.
And in canon, he keeps trying to put his essence into the pregnant babies of Skywalkers. Yeah. He does it for like 2 generations. That's a creepy thing to do, man. What, you want to get born again? You sick freak! Like
I remember when
he's creepy in Legends as well.
When I found out in Legends, when I was about 14 or 15, I found out that he survived after Return of the Jedi in the books, and this was before the new movies got announced. And so I was like bummed out for like 2 days. I had to reconcile that he didn't survive or that he survived. And I was like, man, I wish they didn't do that. So I was happy when they announced that they were striking the canon. I was like, yes, dead.
I can't believe I missed this, but I do agree with this statement. There we go. I do think Jar Jar should have been on the list, but if this was a Star Wars iceberg video, which I wouldn't mind doing if we find a really cool Star Wars iceberg to break one down, because I do enjoy that Jar Jar is Plagueis. I am JJ equals P. Yeah. I'm down with that. But I mean, do we even have to have the discussion about where this guy goes?
No, he's S tier.
Yeah, he's S tier. He's already there. Thank you, Soda.
Oh, real quick EU thing for you, Mark. Are you cool if I call you Mark? Are you cool?
Yeah, you can call me Mark.
Okay. I prefer calling you Mark. I don't know.
Go ahead, Gold Leader.
Yeah, that's fine. The device. Do you know what the device that is holding him is called in the Rise of Skywalker?
Stupid plot bullshit they made up.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It's a reference to an EU Sith. It is called the Omen harness.
Oh yeah. Freaking doesn't Hazen use it? And it's I don't know. I think I know what you're talking about.
But apparently there was a Sith Lord Omen that needed one like that.
Yeah, and he's not on this list. And also, somebody not on this list that I would have loved to put on this list, but I'm like one of 8 people who care about this guy would have been Ndedu, and I love Darth Ndedu, but yeah. Yes, Darth Bane is at the top. That was probably our quickest decision.
Yeah. It was like, oh yeah.
Yeah. Like, all right, Bane. S tier. As much as I don't love Bane, like I really don't, but he is an S tier Sith. I just wish that he I want to be able to use him in versus videos. I wish he fought more Jedi. He has like a couple fights with his apprentice and a couple fights with like a group of Jedi, but he's wearing obelisk armor and it like kind of half counts. Anyways, I just wish that he was like he gave me a lot more to work with so we could use him in a versus, and he doesn't. So that's all. All right. So we talked about a wound in the Force earlier with Darth Nihilus. So this is one of the other 3 Jedi of the Triumvirate from KOTOR 2, Knights of the Republic 2, Darth Sion, the corpse. I can't remember what he's the Lord of. Oh, Pain, the Lord of Pain. He's addicted to pain, and he just dies all the time. He loses so many lightsaber fights.
He's the Mr. Bill Sith Lord.
He is. He is the Mr. Bill Sith Lord. And guess what? If Mr. Bill wasn't made out of clay or Play-Doh, whatever Bill was made out of, and it was made out of flesh, this is what he would look like. Okay? That's sick. Yeah. Sion's awesome, and the only way he gets defeated is he just gets convinced because you can't kill him. So he just has like Revan or not Revan. I can't remember her name on the top of my head, but the main character from KOTOR 2 has to just be like, "Hey man, just die," and he's like, "You got me." Well, he has to get convinced to die because he just can't kill him. And I wish that they ran with this power as like the Sith equivalent of the Force Ghost. Sure. They didn't do it, but I would have loved that. I'm like, no, I'm a body without a spirit. Yeah. I would have loved the idea of like a body without a soul opposed to a soul without a body, like as the Sith equivalent. That's cool. I love Darth Sion. I don't think he's got the accolades for S. And he's just not quite as insanely powerful as Nihilus. Mm-hmm. I'm pitching A, but what do you guys think? I'll keep him up. That's awesome.
Just because I don't know who this guy is mostly. A or B, but Ben, what do you think?
I'm in the same exact boat you are in. A or B. Me.
Yeah, I think for just not to clutter up A too much, and because he just doesn't have a lot of accolades, he's like a secondary villain in one video game. He's really cool, but I'm cool with putting him in B.
Yep.
Yeah. He's an awesome character. Don't get me wrong. Okay. I'm not going to be... thank you, Blue Pig Gaming. Okay. I'm going to be controversial with this guy. The only Bith... The only Bith Sith on this list... The Bith Sith is Darth Tenebrous or Tenebrae. Some people call him Tenebrae. I don't know. But he is Plagueis's master. He is one of the Rule of Two Sith. He has been credited for like setting up everything like that. Like he came up with the idea, Plagueis like put it in motion. Sidious did it, if you will. But he's also a really big Sith scientist like Plagueis. He genetically engineered, like in a tube, Plagueis. Like he grew his own apprentice. So not quite like metachlorian manipulation.
One of those little capsules you get from the dollar store.
Add water to it. Just add water. Yeah, he went to Dollar General and got a just add water moon, and then added water, shot it with some Sith lightning, boom, Plagueis.
Hell yes.
The only problem is he just didn't do much besides that. He never fought a Jedi. He never revealed himself to the Jedi. He never got revenge. Thank you. You're welcome. Last will reveal himself to the Jedi. Oh, no. He was just a Sith. He was just a sideline Sith. You know, he's like the reason why a lot of Rule of Two aren't on here. He just lived in the shadows. He did his Sith shit. He set up something that happened 100 years later. I don't love him by any means, but I mean, he's still kind of super badass. What do you guys think?
He kind of looks like, for those of you who are Doctor Who fans, he kind of looks like a member of the Ood. I don't know if there's anybody here that watches
the Potato People.
No, that's the Suntarans. The Ood are these people, like they have this like crystal ball in their hand, and that's their voice box.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, This is above my pay grade, folks.
Oh, dude, we gotta get you into Who, man.
Yeah.
I'll tell you right now, like 8 people told me to do that race when I was doing the alien thing, so you would have lost that one. So I'll keep them up until we decide. What do you guys think for Tenebris? I guess I kind of
put him.
I mean,
I'll say whatever you say because I'm unclear on this one.
I'm just not a huge Tenebris fan. I might be biased. I just don't really care about the guy.
I will say every Sith, so many Sith have respirators.
The Dark Lord of the Biff.
Is it?
I mean, yeah.
Is it racist of me to assume that he would be good at music?
Bentelli, maybe that's why he needed the respirator. He just played it too much.
It's a harmonica.
Yeah, it's a built-in. So Vader, like Vader walks by and you're, and Tenebris walks by and you're, and that's just how he breathes.
Fantastic.
Oh my god!
No, did you see?
I think
cool with C.
Yeah, he just didn't do enough. Like he was super powerful, but then do something, yo. Yeah. I do like that he trained another Biff Sith secretively. And that guy went and fought Plagueis, and Plagueis had to beat him. So that's like the only like Sithy thing he did was a whole secret apprentice because fucking they all have one. but all right, let's go C. Sorry for you.
And that's the only reason he's not D in my head is because he's got that cool ass harmonica.
Yeah. Sorry for you Tenebris fans out there. Of the 2 people watching.
Yeah, I was about to say, the likelihood that either one of these 2 people is also a diehard Tenebris fan who will get upset by the C ranking.
Blue Pig Gaming gave me just gave me the idea of like the Biff band that he's in is like the death metal version. Yeah. Like you walk into a death metal club and they're like They
play Darth Tenebris music at Hot Topic.
His Biff thing has a double bass drum or a double bass pedal.
Nice. Maybe his spaceship is always coming in the new.
Oh my god.
Okay.
We gotta name this band.
The Revenge of the Biff.
Revenge of the Biff? Oh, okay, that's fair.
Yeah, done. Return of the Biff, just to be weird. All right. This guy was I don't know enough Lord of the Rings jokes. I was gonna make a whole like he was in charge of this tower and he Bubba Sauron. I don't know enough Lord of the Rings because he's also in that. All right, but Christopher Lee is just a badass on his own. Actually, I do think Christopher Lee's cooler than Dooku. Like,
wait, there's one before him.
No, there isn't.
There is.
Oh, sorry, I'm going off the list to the side. We added this picture later. Okay, there she is. Sorry. Now let's finish off the Sith triumvirate, and this is Kreia / Traya. Took me a minute to understand what you were saying there, but all right. So Traya, I believe, is her Sith name, and her normal name's Kreia. Okay, I hate this character, so I'm super biased. She was like Revan's Sith or a Jedi master, and then after she turned, and then went and found the wounds of the Force that are Nihilus and Scion, and they just turned on her and beat the tar out of her because she's not as strong. I like that she uses 3 lightsabers at once with TK. That's super cool. Like, don't get me wrong. But if Scion's the secondary villain, she's the third villain of KOTOR 2. She has really stupid ideas about, like, she has a whole book. Like, you can read her philosophy of the Jedi ways and the Sith ways, and she talks a lot of shit about my favorite lightsaber style, which is Sarisu. Like, I don't know. I have a weird bias where I just really don't like. Vendetta. Yeah, that's my vendetta. Is she's like, all it does is all Sarisu does is delay the inevitable. Yeah, tell that to Obi-Wan Kenobi and all of his kills. But anyways, I might just be being a sourpuss, but she did unleash Scion and Nihilus in the world. You got to give her that. She's part of, like, the Sith Triumvirate. They did kind of they started the first ever Jedi purge, the 3 of them, and killed a bunch of Jedi. So I don't know. I should have pitched her a little less bias for everybody. Sorry.
Where would you put him, or where would you put her?
D. She's
okay.
She's one of the 2 Ds on this list for me.
Okay.
But I mean, she's super powerful and all that shit, but
I have no opinion. I see that the lightsaber things are cool. The lightsaber trick she's doing is really neat. Ben, what do you think? And also, can you use the Force to juggle 3 lightsabers like that, or can you do more?
Oh, I can do more.
You can do more?
I can do double that.
Dude, he's Lobot.
You can do double?
I can do double.
No. Oh, you mean 3 double-bladed lightsabers?
No, I mean, funny. I can do that.
Yeah, funny.
I would put her in B. No, C.
I would say C as well.
All right.
Just to cut the bias a little bit.
Yeah. Also, she's just, like, when it comes to her power, like, on a lot of versus stuff, she's always put, like, upper mid. And again, when you're talking about the Sith that, you know, that are on the S tier, like, she is not even close. Like, literally everybody on the S tier right now could kill her with, like, I don't even thinking about it.
Right.
So, like, Mulgus would just grab her by the freaking head and just beat her to death. Like you oh, you think you're a Sith Lord? like yeah. So I'm biased, and here we go. I almost messed it up again. Now we're going with Tyrannus. You ready?
Tyrannus. I got Tyrannus and Vader's after this. So
all right.
At least
he used to be Dracula.
Yes. That's why they call him Count. That's like that. No, that's for real. That's the joke at Lucasfilm. They did that.
That's hilarious.
So the Count of Sereno, Dooku. His whole name is just Dooku. That's it.
Yep.
And he is childhood friends with Sifo Dyas. Sifo Dyas foresaw the Great War and the need for a clone army. He created the army. Dooku killed or orchestrated Sifo Dyas' death, essentially. And took the army for himself, was a pawn to his master, did really cool shit. He raised his own apprentices who were not necessarily Sith.
Dark Jedi.
Jedi. It's I think technically wow, Savage Opress became a Sith. But
I wouldn't call their lineages. I like he's not on this list for a reason. Sure. I wouldn't call him a Sith Lord.
He and Darth Maul tried to create another rule of 2. Which like to overthrow I guess Dooku and Palpatine. But so either way, but he trained Asajj Ventress, he trained Savage Opress. He's really powerful, he's really neat, really elegant.
And Grievous.
Oh yeah, and he trained Grievous. In Legends, he rescued Grievous. My friend thinks Dooku is the best Sith, but come on, Dooku is just such a pawn of Palpatine. He is a pawn of Palpatine, but the thing is, he plays his part so well. Like, it's almost like he knows that he's a pawn. I think he wants to rule, obviously. Like, I don't think he would do this if he knew that he was just going to get fucked over. But when he does get fucked over, like, he knows that Palpatine is the Sith Lord when he's about to die. and he doesn't rat him out. He's like, all right, that's fine. Like, I'll accept this. This is the greater good. So for that reason alone, I place Dooku pretty high. I would be comfortable placing him in the S tier, but not for power reasons, just for story reasons.
I do like his story.
I think he's strong enough to be in the A tier, though. For me,
Ben, I'll let you go first this time. Before me, I'll let you go second. Yeah.
And to be fair about him,
yeah,
you say he didn't rat Palpatine out. He didn't have time to rat him out.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. He had a few
He could have said something. He's got the lightsabers. Kill him. Dude, you're my master, Zuka.
Yeah. He could have done it,
He could have also ducked. All right, let's just.
Yeah, he could have, but he didn't have time.
Yeah.
But,
he just Johnny Cages punches him with his nub. Just nutcrackers him with his severed hand. All right, sorry.
Taking away from my bias because I really don't like this character.
Really?
Like, to me, yes, he was a pawn in all the worst ways.
Yeah.
The Emperor can't show him no respect whatsoever. I don't care what you say, but he did do some for no. So I put him at maybe C.
Okay.
C?
So average.
Yeah.
Average right now, we're at B. Mark, your ruling here will judge where that goes.
Well, all right. I don't like the idea of okay. All right, let's break it down. Power again, like compared to ancient Sith lords, he's not up there. But compared to like contemporary Sith lords, if that is how you want to put it, like the people of his era, I'd put him like power wise there with Vader, or if not more power. Like he might be able to beat Vader just lightsaber wise. He's one of the best lightsaber duelists. Yeah, he didn't beat that Vader. I meant Sorry, I meant Suit Vader.
Oh, okay.
I don't think. Yeah.
Well, I guess he didn't beat Vader at all. Or
he did.
He did.
He lost to Vader, but that's because Gen So, Form 5 is the Achilles heel to Form 2 Makeshi, because you're fighting a fencer with a baseball bat. It's just it's how you fight a fencing guy. Yeah. So that's why Anakin was able to beat him. Yeah. Vader didn't beat him. One beat him. Yeah. Two different characters in my eyes.
That is true.
Same here.
Okay. So lightsaber skill, he is one of my favorite. We need to use Dooku one day. We just need to for versus, because he is one of my favorite lightsaber combatants ever. Mm-hmm. Pretty decent across the board. Sith level powers Sith lightning, decent TK, really good augmentation. He was able to levitate using telekinesis. Decent, but of course he's not I wouldn't consider his power S tier. And his story is interesting as a villain, but he doesn't have a grandest story. He's just a fallen count of a planet and so on and so forth. I think he's a very strong A tier.
Okay.
I think he's a strong A tier. I think that he was exactly what he needed to be. That he couldn't have been anything else. I think he peaked. He was as big as the fishbowl let him get.
Also, it's to be noted, he trained Qui-Gon. So he was also he was trained by Yoda.
Yeah.
A really great combination of Jedi lineage too.
If this was just lightsaber style, he's an S.
That is true.
Period.
That is very true.
I'm going higher me.
Okay. So are we A or B?
It looks like we're going to B. I said A, you said B, he said C. I don't have to get my way all the time. I'm cool with B.
B
all right. All right. So before I get to this next one, I will state we are ranking these characters as Sith Lords, not as characters, not as Jedi. He is my favorite character, probably. Yeah. I'd probably say, yes, thank you. Not of Legends or anything, but of the movies, just as a hero's journey, he's my favorite iteration of the hero's journey. We have Darth Vader.
Yeah.
And again, as a Sith, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
But
Here we go.
everyone knows where I'm going to go, so why do I even have to say it? Go ahead, guys.
I'm going to get this one. Here we go. All right. Vader is a...
We don't need to do a long bias. Everybody knows who Vader is, Evan.
Vader is a Dark Lord of the Sith. Chosen one. He is the chosen one. But he is an example of the tragic nature of the Sith. I mean, his home base, Fortress Vader, it is over top of the site that he lost to Obi-Wan. It is his life is full of pain. Everything he had, he lost tragically, like right in his face. And so, I think in terms of the like I said, the tragic Sith, I think he's like the peak example. But you don't really think of him as like the religion of the Sith. You don't think of him as that. You think of him as like he's a dark side user because of his pain. And obviously he turns, but he's also like, in my opinion, the most powerful Force user like ever.
You would, yep.
And so I would, for that, I'd feel comfortable putting him in the A tier because of his story and his power. But I'm open to other interpretations.
Ben, do you want to go first?
I just want to say one thing. I want to clarify something.
Okay.
We're talking Darth Vader, right? Not Anakin Skywalker.
We're talking Darth Vader.
So,
Right.
Revenge of the Sith
Uh-huh.
to Return of the Jedi,
Yeah.
Darth Vader.
Yeah.
Yep.
I would go S.
S?
Okay. Here's my argument against S and maybe against A.
Yeah.
I think it is an insult to his character to say he's a powerful Sith Lord, because he is a amazing Jedi. He
Right.
turns. He
Yeah.
kills freaking Palpatine.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it piss you off if you did it like a face turn at the end and then somebody's like, "You're the best heel of all time"?
Well,
I freaking face turned, guys.
Well, here's a question. Did he kill Palpatine?
Okay, whatever. You know
Or
what I
did
mean.
Anakin
He's ruined-
Skywalker kill Palpatine?
But Anakin, he fell. He rose. Whatever. He the opposite of fell.
Yeah.
He redeemed. I can't give him S, and I agree mostly with A, but I think that's pretty high. And I do feel like it's an insult to the character. They say he's an amazing Sith Lord because he's not. He's an amazing human. He's an amazing hero.
He's an
to
example of a powerful Jedi being used for evil. And
he's not an S tier villain, like at the like his full story, like when he's a villain. Of course,
I would
like,
disagree with that entirely.
I mean, after his wrap up.
Yeah.
I mean, if you just look at,
I think you
two
can look
movies
at
as a whole, yes.
you can look at the whole story of Anakin Skywalker and still call him a villain. I would say.
Well, I mean, I think he's the greatest villain of all time.
Yeah.
In each of these two movies, like if you look at Empire as its own thing, yes. Okay, let's see what Blue Pig's saying.
I mean,
well, I do
disagree with
legend stuff and he does canon stuff, and we
Yeah.
look at everything as a whole. We're just lore diggers, so we have to look past the movies. It's just the nature of the channel.
Yeah.
Hey, Amazing. I really want to know what Amazing's got to say. Amazing, where would you put him as a guy who was an honorary
I'll go as far as to
pilot.
say whatever he says we can go with.
I think that he's going to be close with me because it's hard to call him like an S tier Sith. I'd call him an S tier character.
I would
But-
say A comfortably.
It's really like somebody doing a face turn at the end of their career and you still saying they're an S tier heel. Like, it's weird to me.
I'm going
Yeah,
I
because I don't
Okay,
think.
well, hold on. Think about it in this terms. I'm sure you're mostly familiar with Roddy Piper,
Yeah, of course.
right? What's the thing he's most known for in wrestling? For being a villain. Well, here's the thing. He hasn't been a villain in, 33 years? So, I mean, I don't know about that argument should count towards ranking him down. Just based on that. Because a lot of people remember him more as a villain than they do as a hero.
I understand not ranking him as an S tier Sith, but he is absolutely an S tier villain, even if he turns. At the end.
Okay, all right, I'll give you that. But again, in devotion to Sith ways, he he turns.
Right.
Fine.
That's my main. I'm 100% okay with
I will
A.
put him at 8.
I'm 100% okay with A. I feel like we're like spitting on the man's grave, calling him like an S tier. Like I feel mean to Anakin, where he's like, "But I killed Palpatine at the end." Whatever, you S tier Sith. Oh, but I did the thing.
I get a real question is, what moment in Return of the Jedi did Vader die and Anakin come back?
When
It was
Luke's
during that
screaming
push-in,
father.
when the camera pushed in.
Yeah, it's when Luke is screaming father through the lightning in his mouth. How good is that effect, by the way?
Oh,
When you see the lightning in the mouth. God, I love that movie.
That's a great movie.
And I do agree with you here, Blue Pig. So I do think headcanon is most important, and that's why, that's why we agree to disagree constantly.
Yeah.
Because I love Star Wars and respect Star Wars fans, and I know a lot of Star Wars fans don't do that, but Evan loves Star Wars as much as me. Why will I tell him he has to think one way about something? He loves the same thing I love, and you love the same thing I love, so headcanon is the most important.
If the George Lucas canon is what you're really seeing as important, Blue Pig, Clone Wars should be factored in that. That is George Lucas's final dedicated project.
I want to go with his olive branch of saying headcanon is what's most important, because I do agree with that. Is what you hold dear is what you hold dear. I mean, you're talking about
we're splitting hairs and we're talking about which fictional story.
Stay on target. Stay on target.
Okay, here we go. Amazing did agree with A. Yeah, and that's the funny thing is if we did Jedi, we'd be having this exact same conversation when it comes to Anakin. So. Yeah, B tier actor. So I mean, I wouldn't give him that much. I'm lower than that. Anyways, all right. Moving on, we agreed with putting him in A. We have a lot more B tiers than I thought we were gonna do. I really thought this was gonna be an S and A like heavy thing, but I didn't actually want to go through them and make my decisions ahead of time. So I'm glad. All right, so now we're on the Darth Vitiate. This is when he has then been killed by Revan and then came back. So this is a different reincarnation. This is reincarnated Vitiate, who's in charge of the. It's not the Infinite Empire, or the Eternal. It's I think it's called the Eternal Empire, but it's not the Rakatan Empire. It's a different thing. So this is the guy who comes in on the second release of SWTOR. That's what this specific character, but Vitiate himself was actually a Sith way back, 5,000 years before the Battle of Yavin, during the real high time of the Sith, way before anything that you can think of. This guy was a secret apprentice of a guy we're going to be talking about later, Marco Ragnos, who during the Great Hyperspace War, when Sith are trying to fight the Republic and fighting Jedi and all that stuff, he takes remnants of the Sith and just bounce, and they go to unknown regions, and he runs the Sith for thousands of years. This dude. Sure. And when Revan shows up, he turns Revan. He sends freaking Mandalorians to start the Mandalorian War, and then when Revan kills him, he finds out that this is the guy who sends him, and then Revan comes to him, and then he turns Revan, sends him back. He is responsible for almost every conflict for 3,000 years. Of Sith conflict, of course, not of all the other ones, but he's not part of the Gank massacres. That's a deep cut. But yeah, I don't have Lord Scourge on this list. I wouldn't consider him a Sith Lord. He's, of course, a Sith. And I did want to bring that up earlier. I also don't have, Thanatin or Darth Talon or things like that. I do love Scourge, but Scourge isn't a proper Sith Lord. But that's it. So Vitiate is the Palpatine of the Old Republic for 3,000 or 2,000 years. And it is insane the amount of power behind this guy, and then he comes back to life he essence transfer. He's a big fan of essence transfer. So this isn't a clone. He transferred his essence into another person and then started a whole other war against the Sith and the Republic. Like he was a third person. Yeah, Vitiate is the S tier was made for Vitiate in my eyes. He's number one in S tier in my eyes.
Okay.
But didn't you say he's not in a war against the Sith?
Yeah, because he's the better Sith. He's the real Sith. Just like Bane. They suck. I'm the real Sith. Here we go.
Okay.
But
I'm cool with wherever, honestly, on this one. I've seen cutscenes with him,
Yeah.
but I haven't watched the whole. I haven't delved too far into his story. I would trust your judgment on this one. So whatever y'all say.
Vitiate 100% is S. Like I won't actually fight anyone on it. If somebody did come up with a strong argument, I'd shoot him down. He's the most powerful Sith on this list. Period.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Cool with me.
all right, and then let's get back to us rule of tours with Darth Bane's apprentice, and later going to be in a versus video. I believe next week, Evan. Right? I think so. Against Plo Koon. Yeah, I believe it's our next week episode.
That's right. Yeah.
We got Darth Zana, who we'll be pinning against Plo Koon next week. Darth Zana is like the epitome of apprentices to me. Like she's really awesome in her own right. She's huge on Sith sorcery, really big on mind control. If you have any insecurities in your brain, she will get in there and tear you apart. She's also a Sarisu lightsaber duelist, but she literally uses the lightsaber to hold you off until she can kill you with her force. Like that's all it is. It's a shorter double-bladed lightsaber because she's a smaller person, and then she pretty much uses this shorter double-bladed lightsaber to just fight you off until she can Sith sorcery you. She's a really cool character. I wouldn't put her extremely high, and I do think that she's what's wrong with the Rule of Two Sith. I don't think that they're really driven to be extremely powerful because they're just not a lot of conflicts. Mm-hmm. They're shadow Sith. They're Sith in the shadow, which is cool on their own right, but, she's fine. I don't think she belongs in S or A.
Okay. I was going to say B, actually, so that's perfect.
Yeah.
What do you guys think?
Everything you said makes it sound cool. But because I don't know that much about it, I would say A.
The insecurity thing is really interesting, too.
Yeah.
That's a strong argument.
There was a really cool versus video somebody did with Darth Talon, Saj Ventress, and Zana at the same time, and immediately Zana just got into Asajj's head and made her just out of the match. Like, look how conflicted you are. Bye. And then she started fighting Talon. Because Ventress is so messed up in the head. Mm-hmm. But again, that doesn't really work against Jedi that much.
Right.
Because they don't have any of that. But she does beat Bane. Blue Pig Gaming, absolutely she does beat Bane. With the help of a dark side nexus, but he was being powered by the dark side nexus as well. But yeah, she does beat Bane, but that's what she's supposed to do. The apprentice is supposed to kill the master in a rule of two, one guy to have the power, to embody the power, one person to crave it. It's her job. She had to do it at one point, or else she wouldn't even be on this list. I still don't think it puts her to A. I mean, if you guys want to disagree, I mean, she's in every way a rule of two Sith Lord. She's a Sith Lord just like Bane was, just like Tenebris, Plagueis, Sidious. She held the same mantle. If you think that at least gets her to A, I will not argue.
I'll stick with A.
Yeah, I actually have flipped to A because of the mental positioning that I didn't think about how cool that is actually.
The Sith sorcery. Yeah. And also she summoned in a A. There you go. No, not S. Soda. A. There you go. He's the best in the business, ladies and gentlemen. All right.
What?
So
She was cute.
She'll kill you, literally.
Good way to die.
One cool thing. So she uses the dark side nexus on. I want to say it's Umbreon that they're fighting, but I might be wrong. But she makes dark side tendrils come out of the ground. So literally tentacles grab Bane and rip into his skin as she's fighting him. It's so cool. Yeah, I think she belongs in A. I agree.
So nice.
Okay. My favorite character on this list. Did I already say that more than once?
Maybe.
XR Kun. XR Kun is the best lightsaber guy, more than Dooku, more than anybody. This dude, fallen Jedi, gets turned by Frida Nad, and I want to say it was Frida Nad, yeah. Or was it just Mark Ragnos? Doesn't matter. Gets turned, fights Ulic Qel-Droma, who will be brought up later, and it defeats Ulic Qel-Droma. Marco Ragnos turns up. He goes, XR Kun, you're the master. Ulic, you're the apprentice. Destroy. And he runs a Sith empire out of nowhere, takes over almost the entire galaxy. This dude is awesome. He's got the mark on his forehead is a Sith fingerprint burned into him by Marco Ragnos' Force Ghost, his dark side Force Ghost. If I explain this lightsaber, that's all I got to do. I'm going to explain his lightsaber, and then I'm going to shut up. Well, I'll say one more thing. But anyway, so the art doesn't do it well. It makes it look like it's a normal double-sided. But actually, most art, it's one-handed. So it's a one-handed, double-sided lightsaber that he would, literally spin over his head. But what it also had was variable focus beams, so he could change the size of both of the sabers at the same time, just mix them up. So as it's spinning, coming at you, they're changing length. And also, they could completely turn into light. So you can go to parry it, and your lightsaber will go through it, and then the next one kills you. He is probably the best lightsaber duelist next to, Palpatine in all Legends. I would put him up there. And also, he never turned. They had to put him in a Force cocoon, and then later his ghost was brought up by the Luke Skywalker's Jedi Praxium, and they have to fight him later on, his ghost. So this dude fell to the dark side, stayed on the dark side. He's extremely powerful. He belongs in A. I love XR Kun. Of course, my bias is going to affect you guys. Yeah, I think he was Frida Nad's apprentice. I might be a little off on that. But, yeah.
I'm cool with S if you're...
I'm going with S.
Yeah. No arguments here.
All right, cool. And I'm not 100% sure who you're talking about here. I actually left out a lot of the Rule of Tours. I knew there was a couple I left out, Zana's Cognis, Darth Cognis, just because there's just not a lot on them. I would have one sentence. They're just not covered in a lot of medium, and I didn't want this list to be 50 characters. Same reason why Scourge is off. Same reason why a lot of people were. So I'm sorry. He does sound cool, but yeah, that was XR Kun, and yeah, he definitely belongs in S tier. Okay. And you guys are getting sick of my voice by now, I bet.
No, it's okay. I'm observing. Because these are all characters that I don't know at this point, so I'm observing.
If you look at versus videos for XR Kun, he's only pinned against the top. XR Kun versus Bane, XR Kun versus Crate, XR Kun versus, Vader, the tippy top. Because he's awesome. I love XR Kun. Also, he rocked double-bladed blue lightsaber as a Sith. Anyways, this is Frida Nad. Frida Nad is a cool character in his own right. He's got a really awesome story, but he was a Jedi, and his arrogance made him fall. Tell me if you've ever heard that before. But he has a really cool story about how he fell to the Sith. So he was believing that he was better than everybody, 100%, and he had that like mentality, and he brought it up to one of the Jedi councils. I want to say on Ossus, and the like one of his trainers, like takes him aside, and he goes, "She's like, you're not going to be made a Jedi," and it was a test. He belonged to be a Jedi. He was gonna make a Jedi, but she wanted to see if he could handle that failure.
Yeah,
and he failed. He's like, no, I'm gonna be a Jedi. And to test him, she puts her hand on her lightsaber. She doesn't ignite it.
Oh shit.
She does that, and he goes, bomb. So she lights up hers, and they fight for a second, and she purposely drops her guard to see what he'll do. And then he cuts her down, and in her last moments, her facial expression changes, and you realize that he just failed the test. It's one of my favorite stories. Like, she sacrificed herself to be like,
yeah, I was supposed to say, so she dies then.
She dies. But it was just like, you failed, dude. Like, you just killed a master for no reason.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh shit. And then he goes to I want to say this was Onderon, or one of them, takes over, becomes a king, does some essence transfer, lives on for a long time. This is a character where my only problem with him is we just don't have enough. This is another character that we could never do a versus video for, because that's kind of all we know about him. We know he got really epically powerful, so on and so forth. But his legacy is a big deal. You know, like he's the main reason why a lot of the conflict that turned Ulic Qel-Droma and Exar Kun in that era happened. But it's a lot of his legacy and his like spirit living on more than him. I do think the only thing that's stopping him from S tier is he just didn't get to that level of controlling the galaxy. But maybe he didn't want to. Like, he controlled the planet, but I don't know. Frida Nad's a weird character.
I'm feeling B, actually.
All right.
Yeah, I'm really mean too.
Yeah, Onderon's moon. So it was on Onderon. I feel weird not at least having Frida Nad on A tier, just because when it comes to power, he might be like, he didn't take over the galaxy, sure. But I mean, when it comes to devotion to the Sith ways, he was like, he's a poster child of the Sith, and I think that's a really cool story. I would love to at least have him an A, if I can convince you guys.
You know, I don't know. You know more about this character than me. I don't
know a lot. There isn't a lot about him, honestly.
Right. We can go A. That's cool with me. I liked his story a lot. I thought that gives him points, certainly.
I wish we knew more about him so we could like use him in a versus video. Ben, are we cool putting him Freedom Nad an A?
No, definitely. Sounds like a really cool character.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. This is the only reason we have a D. Let's talk about Lord Khan. This piece of crap. Okay. I'm going to try to make this not biased, but there's just no way. He's written as a character who bastardized the Sith. It's like literally all he is. He wanted to drop the name of Darth because he didn't like the idea of one person being in charge of the Sith, so he made the Brotherhood of Darkness. And this was at the same time as Bane. And Bane did train in the Brotherhood of Darkness and then rose the ranks because Bane's a badass. This is the same time as like Lord Hoth, Volfi, I'm not going to say the person's name right, Valafine Parfala was a really cool character. Half Bantha, has a golden lightsaber. Anyways, Lord Khan literally destroyed the Sith from the inside and wanted to be a lord, and it was a Brotherhood of Darkness, and we're all equal and all this crap. I don't know. I think Bane did him right. Bane genocided this guy for a reason. Mm-hmm. He tricked him. He gave him a bomb called the Thought Bomb. It was like a weapon of mass destruction. And Bane tells him, this will destroy all the Jedi in the area. So this dude starts this big fight. I want to say on Ossus. Yeah, I do want to say on Ossus. The Valley of the Jedi is later what it's called. But he starts this big fight. All these Jedi show up. Huge fight against all this Jedi. And then he lets off the bomb. But Bane lied to him. It doesn't destroy all the Jedi. It destroys all Force users. It wipes out all the Sith, or the Brotherhood of Darkness all at once, including Lord Khan. And then that's when Darth Bane starts to rule it too. This guy is what D is related or is made for. I think he's just sucks. But again, Rusan, thank you. It was Rusan. You're 100% right. It was a battle of Rusan. I'm all Osis in my head right now. Blue Pig Gaming, you are killing it.
I'm cool with D as well. I think the story sounds interesting, but I don't think that's enough to push him higher.
Participation award, should we just get rid of him? And also, I think that Blue Pig agrees with me. Not that I did much to convince you the other way, Ben, but are you cool with D?
Oh, I think you're muted.
I think you're muted, Ben. Did I do that? Did I do that? Nope, I didn't.
No, I did not. Yeah, D. Sorry about
D.
that. D
there. Give him a D. Give him the D. There you go.
Give him a D.
Now, come on. Soto, one job. He's the only guy who's going to be on D in here. I tried really hard with Kreia, but it just didn't work. I didn't convince them. Okay. Now, the Sith that started it all, we got, and I don't know if this is the correct. Yeah, you are a Bane nerd. I noticed. I like Bane. I don't love Bane. I like Bane. All right. I don't know if this is a correct picture of Frida Nad, but Mark Aragnos, but I really do like this picture, so we stuck with it. It did pop up when Soda researched it, but he did kind of look like this. He was an old school Sith. This is right before the start or the Great Hyperspace War, 5,000 BBY. So to kind of put it all in perspective, it's kind of why I wanted to do this chronologically. This would have been the second person after Junta Paul. There was Sith in between. I had to cut them all out. I know there's Sith in between, but we had to kick this down to 25 or else we would have never ended this. So Mark Aragnos really brought the Sith to, let me move out of your way. Oh, yeah, there we go. All right, then there he goes, Mark Aragnos. All right. Mark Aragnos really did elevate the Sith to a completely new level, and he ran the Sith for a very long time. And his successor, who we're getting to next, Naga Sadao, fought a guy named Ludo Kresh to take over. Yeah, you're right. And then we could have put on Dadu in. We could have put so many guys. It was really hard to decide who should stay or should go. We could have made this list 100 people very easily. But anyway, so Mark Aragnos was in charge of the Sith, and then when he died, Ludo Kresh and Naga Sadao fought for the rule of the Sith, and then as they're dueling to be who's going to be the next guy in charge, Mark Aragnos' ghost shows up, and he's like, dudes, something's about to happen. And we need somebody who can bring the Sith into the next era. And that's going to be Naga Sadao, because Ludo Kresh was the conservative Sith. And he wanted to stick with the old ways. And what he was foreseeing. He listened
to Rush Limbaugh.
That was Naga Sadao was the Rush Limbaugh listener. He listened to AM radio. Ludo Kresh did. Not Naga Sadao. So Mark Aragnos, what he was foreseeing was a Republic vessel crash landing on Korriban, and then Naga Sadao, who we're going to get to, lets them travel back to Coruscant and follows them and invades the Republic that way. So Mark Aragnos is extremely powerful. He's died right before the Great Hyperspace War. So he doesn't have a lot of he's extremely powerful, sure, and his devotion to the Sith was 100%. Lived, died, ruled the Sith 100%. But he didn't do a lot. He died right before everything happened. Right. So maybe we can put him in A, but I think just legacy, he belongs in S. But
I would say A is a solid choice just because I don't know much. But the look alone of this character, that picture is incredible.
He's full-blood Sith, man.
Yeah, that's really
cool.
I'm cool with A. I'm open to arguments of S if, Ben, you feel different. I'm willing to be convinced.
The only reason I lean towards S is because he looks so damn cool.
That's true.
I think you have to take that into consideration.
Yep. Okay. I'm cool with this.
I mean, he's like the granddaddy of the Sith. Like, put him in S. Like, yeah.
Let's do it.
And guess what? He didn't turn back to the light side as a Force ghost, Ajunta Paul. That's why you're down in B, Ajunta. Yeah, there you go. There you go. All right. And as I was just discussing, Naga Sadao, he's a fun character. So he then takes control of the Sith. He starts the Great Hyperspace War. He destroys Coruscant. He fights a bunch of Jedi. And then they lose.
It looks like a Yu-Gi-Oh card.
Yeah. I like that he just has one spiked pauldron, the other one's not. It's a cool look. But yeah, extremely powerful Sith sorcerer, of course. Made all kinds of holocrons, like credited as being one of the most powerful Sith of all time. And then he exiled himself after he failed onto Yavin 4, and his tomb is the Republic base or the Rebel base.
It's the Massassi Temple.
Yep. Yeah, it's a Massassi temple. That's his Massassi. He made the Massassi.
Yeah.
That ruled that temple.
Actually, I read that when I was looking that up. I was like, oh, that's kind of neat.
Hell yeah. So Naga Sadao the only thing that's stopping him from S tier is that he lost the war, but that's what Sith do. He didn't he didn't fall to the light side. That didn't exist to him. He's a mostly pure-blooded Sith. So I think he belongs in either A or S, but he didn't win. That's his only negative. He didn't get to the heights that Crate or Plagueis or Vitiate did. Mm-hmm. So I don't put him in up to them. They are higher S tier, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But
I would say A just because I'm not super interested in him.
Okay.
He doesn't compel me. But the Massassi Temple thing is neat. But that being said, I would just go A. But Ben, what do you think?
I'll go A too.
All right.
Hey.
We might end this before 2 hours. And then we'll talk about something else until we get
we got this before 2 hours. We only got one more Sith.
Yeah.
We got one more. And thank you, boss. And every single Sith master needs an apprentice, and Exar Kun had Ulic Qel-Droma. Ulic Qel-Droma is definitely the better hero. He was very much like the Luke of that. Well, Naomi's Sunrider would be, but he fell to the dark side with Exar Kun. He's closer to the Anakin of that era, actually. So also he fought the same style. He was a very power duelist. He's a Qel-Droma. He had a brother that he ended up killing, and then killing his brother is what made him realize how bad he's gotten. And then Naomi's Sunrider, and I want to say somebody else, cut him off from the Force. And that's how he then turned light, and he trained Naomi Sunrider's kid as a cut off from the Force. But he did have redemption. He later did get murdered after he was redeemed. So he's a very tragic character. And again, if we were ranking him as a character, he'd be super high. He's a really cool character, but he's not a really high up there Sith. He was a Sith apprentice for a while that helped, win a war or not lose a war. But he was really powerful. But he fell. He fell and completely redeemed. And after he died, he transcended the Force as a good Force spirit. You can't really call him an S tier Sith.
I'd say he's a solid B. I love his lightsaber also, and I love the Vader looking suit that he's got.
Yeah. Also, in a lot of art, he's got a great lightsaber, so his hilt's huge and the blade's huge. He's just got a big old lightsaber. It's really cool.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would say B. What do you guys think?
I push him to C just because of his fall, his rise, because he was redeemed and came back as a Force ghost. I mean, he's not Lord Khan by any means,
right?
But I mean, if we put Revan, he's close to Revan. If we put Revan in C, I think Ulic belongs in C.
Okay.
Okay, C. And is it me, or does that picture kind of looked like Channing Tatum
Oh yeah,
if he was Gambit.
I could.
All
see
right. Shannon Gambit. Yeah, we almost had
it.
that.
It looks like a beefy version of Billy Peltzer from Gremlins.
He actually looks to me more like a really buff Crispin Glover.
Oh yeah,
Nailed it. He's kind of got a what's his name? Freaking, I know his name. I'm just brain farting. Thanos Cable.
oh, you talking about Josh Brolin?
Yeah, Josh Brolin.
Yeah,
No.
I see that.
We've had a Biff Sith. Now we need a Biff Sith
Yeah.
for him to punch in a docking bay.
In a docking bay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Like, as
Sorry.
opposed to a parking lot. You know?
Yeah, I know. I have a dirtier mind than you do.
Oh,
Yeah. Moving on.
Yeah.
All right. Holy schmoly.
We
Yeah,
do
we have
have
one
one
more.
more.
Wait, we
one
have a-
more.
Our producer is telling us that we have another challenger approaching.
oh,
Oh, Dark Helmet.
S tier.
Easily
Yes.
S tier. Because he is Vader that didn't go back. He
Yeah.
died in the dark side.
That's true.
And plus,
No, he didn't die. He didn't die.
yeah, you're right. He
They
didn't die.
They ended up on that planet.
Yep.
Guys, these are spoilers. I've never seen Spaceballs.
Wait, really?
Yeah,
No.
Oh man, we gotta fix that.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I once said as a joke they should they should add Spaceballs into the Star Wars cat and Evan's like, well, I haven't seen that, so no.
Yeah, that'd be
Like, what?
not good
Yeah.
for me. But no, I have no reason why I haven't watched it. I just haven't watched it.
Looks like your shorts is as big as mine.
It's
Let's
like
see how
being
you
Fight
handle
Club.
it.
I'm sorry, but it's like
Yeah, he hasn't seen Fight Club, but we got into a big
Oh.
argument yesterday.
Fight Club's
about
good. It's definitely a movie you should have watched when you were a teenager.
it.
You know what I mean? Like, it's one of those really angsty movies. Like,
It is so 1999 2000.
yes,
Yeah.
Um,
Yes.
but no, yeah. So that's
We made it.
That's our Sith tier list, folks.
Can you throw it up one more time just so we can look at it and see if we want to do any changes to it, or are we pretty happy with it?
I'm pretty happy
It's
with
like
it.
the ending. Yeah, so we got Mark Ragnos, Darth Bane, Mulgus, Nihilus, Plagueis, Palpatine, Vitiate, and Exarchuna and S. I mean, if anything, the only person who doesn't fit like the Lord of the Sith and S is Mulgus, but he's just so awesome. Like, he's punching above his weight class up there, but he's just so cool.
Yeah, I'm comfortable with this.
Yeah, I think it's really good.
Mhm.
Nice.
It's weird to see like Darth Maul and Naga Sadow in the same category, though. But Naga Sadow would just implode him.
I'm
with
honestly
the Force.
not gonna lie. I kind of wished it had gone with that for his main look originally.
It's such a good look.
It
It's
is
such
so
a good look, and I like that he's holding the dark saber
Yeah.
in it. That's such a good picture.
That's nice.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. Anyways, thanks for freaking watching. Do you guys have any closing thoughts before we actually ended up? He's not a back off.
No, I will say, my wife was out of town. This is totally unrelated. I just thought I'd bring this up while I'm on here.
Well, we lost everybody as soon as you said it. We went to one before.
Oh no, I am. My wife was out of town for a few days. She went on a trip with a friend, and during that time, I was like, "What am I going to do with all this downtime?" So I watched every Fast and Furious movie for the first time ever. And they're actually really good. I'm not even kidding. They're actually really solid.
You know, I did the same. Would have been when Fast 5 came out. I did
Yeah.
the same, and yeah, I agree. There, 2 obviously is the worst one of the series, but you know what?
Oh, I would
Just one-
disagree. Oh, so the 2 is awesome. Oh man,
Don't say. I think
I have to
Tokyo
rewatch it.
Drift
I have
is
to
a
watch
dark
it.
horse for me. I love
Tokyo Drift is for me qualitatively the best one.
Yeah.
But my favorite one, this is gonna be weird. My favorite one is Hobbs and Shaw. That one was awesome.
That was
I
really
haven't
fun.
seen. That's like probably the only one I haven't seen. I really like Furious 7. I feel like that
Yeah.
was.
Yeah,
That is
Seven is my favorite.
Yeah, seven.
Yeah,
yeah.
I think that is at the peak of their powers of
Yeah.
of action and camp is like equal.
Yeah.
And that's the one that The Rock flexes out of a broken arm, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
is this broken? Not anymore.
Daddy's
I'm
got to
a
work.
proponent for number 4, personally. I really like Fast and Furious. And when it comes to Tokyo Drift, it feels like Rogue One in a way, kind of back to Star Wars. Where you know it's Star Wars, but it's tangentially Star Wars. That's what Tokyo Drift feels like.
Okay, so you're
cool,
saying...
Sorry. No, what were you going to say?
I was going to say, like, so you're saying that at the end when Vader shows up to kill everybody in Tokyo Drift, that's actually Ha or Sha, like how he kills Han. It's kind of like the lightsaber fight.
Yeah, exactly.
I will say that. I think, in my opinion, 7 has a mess ending.
Yeah, I would totally agree. 7 is like so... I thought I was going to go into these movies and laugh at all of them. And then I watched them, and as 7 came around, I'm just like, fuck, man.
Yeah, right?
Fuck.
They get you. They really get
so
you.
Sad.
Stay on target. Stay on target.
Oh, you cheeky guy!
I had to wait till 11 was done because I had to do it to soda.
Yeah, that's great. No, but my point is, watch them, folks. They're actually pretty good. I thought they would not be, but they are.
You guys just saw the death of a friendship between me and Soda. I saw it die in him. He's like, well, fuck you.
You know, I'm impressed. I'm impressed.
That was good.
I'm like looking for it, like do it with Soda's on it. Find it. Poof. Okay. Well,
right.
thanks for watching. That was Let's Talk About Fast and Furious.
Nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition.
That's what I had coming. I just want to know how did you come up with that, Soda? Where did you come up with thinking of the Spanish Inquisition?
With the Inquisitor.
The Inquisitor.
It doesn't matter what you think.
Yeah, that's on the other set. Sorry. I should actually bring that one over.
Relevant.
It doesn't matter what you think. Yeah, I couldn't find it. I was looking for it. So I realized I had to do it.
It's on this one.
It doesn't matter what you think.
Yeah,
I'm gonna import that one, and there's another Monty Python one that I'm gonna import, where basically if the sketch was going nowhere, the general will just walk out. It's like, yep, sketch is over. It was rubbish.
Oh my god!
It doesn't matter what your name is. That's
Yeah.
another good one that The Rock
Oh
said.
god!
Are you a virgin?
Wait, do you guys smell that? Do you guys smell what The Rock is cooking?
Yeah. Good job, Evan. All right. Well, that was officially the death of our episode. So, everyone, thanks for showing up for the people who actually watched all the way through, and people who are watching it after it comes out live. I know that not everyone can watch it when it comes out live. Thanks for watching it. I do want to know in comments if you guys have any disagreements. This is all personal opinion. This was 3 people agreeing. If you think that Darth Khan or Lord Khan belongs in S, just show yourself out. But if you think that anyone else belongs in S, I would love to know. So
And please keep it civil.
yeah, keep it civil, of course. All right, let's start with Ben. Where can people find you online?
You can find me at my Twitter at Ben_radio. You can find me on this channel every Tuesday on Shooting the Movies with Matt here. Every Friday on Recapping the Past. Every Saturday on Get Ready. And also on Saturday, Matt Schmodown, my Schmodown career. Yeah, on that show. My brain's tired. Somebody take over.
This is basically just throw a rock and you'll hit one of Ben's shows.
Yes. And we're gaining them all. We're slowly stealing all of his shows and getting them onto this list. On this channel. Evan, besides on Saturdays talking about Star Wars, where can people find you?
I am on Twitter, just at Evan Bushcar. Look me up. I'm doing a thing right now. I'm drawing a bunch of pictures of me with a tiny head.
Yeah.
I'm taking commissions. I've gotten a couple customers. So if you want to cash at me $10, I will draw a tiny head version of me as whatever fictional character you guys want.
Would you draw a tiny head of somebody else?
I mean, yeah.
So you would draw the Gimp from Pulp Fiction?
Yeah, I would do that. I would absolutely.
It's all just black.
And here's another thing. You can either pay me $10 to do that, or I'm doing a thing on my Facebook right now. I'm saying the highest voted comment on this post I made, I will draw next. So if you're friends with me on Facebook, go comment something on there.
All right.
And yeah,
Ned Beatty and Deliverance.
Yeah,
I'll get it.
Yes, absolutely. Do it. No, there's not very many comments at all. I don't think people really give a shit about any of this. So, Tiny Head Evan, let's go look at me. My little drawing ego trip. So great.
Well, do you have any actual shows people can watch, or do you just
I do. I have a podcast on Facebook called Nobody's Watching Anyway. We generally do an episode every 2 weeks, but we're really inconsistent. So go and maybe you'll have like 30 backlogged episodes. So you'll have stuff to watch if you go. But yeah, go check it out. Go see me. Go just look at my Facebook page. Everything I do is there.
All right.
What about you?
Me? You will find me here on Schmoes of the North. I am the resident non-Canadian. Well, actually, there's Mount Schmodown, and there's a lot of non-Canadians there. But of the main group, I was pitched as a non-Canadian. I'm here on Saturdays doing this. Normally, I'm on our Friday show, either talking about the pay-per-view of the Schmodown that week, or if there isn't a pay-per-view, discussing the whole week, like what I was doing yesterday. Mm-hmm. And next week, I'm putting it out there. My wife and my daughter are going out of town without me. So if you have a podcast that I normally can't do, let me know, because I want to do it next week. I already told Ben I want to be on Mount Schmodown. And if you guys are doing Shoot the Breeze next week too, I want to do whatever. I want to do as many shows as possible. It is my 3 days of freedom. And even if you want to do No One's Watching Anyways and have me on, Evan, I'm in. I want to do as much as possible next weekend. So there you go. There's my
What's the Fast and
resume.
Furious movies?
Is that what you're talking about?
I'm just saying you should do that. That's what I did when I was out of town.
Oh, I'm like, I've seen them all. I watched them in the theaters.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
Yeah. Ben, you were going to say something?
I'll ask you off camera, but if you're serious, I'll take you up on that.
I am serious. Let's talk about it off camera. And also, when I'm not talking about the Schmodown or Taco Wing about Star Wars, I'm a fine artist. You can find my really weird, absurd art on Instagram at Mark Taco Face. I do paintings of cannibals and serial killers and cult leaders and stuff with really bright colors. And all right, I think that's all. You guys have a good one, man.
Adios.